Close your eyes, listen. Beneath the tourist chatter, beneath the selfie sticks and ice cream carts, do you hear it? A whisper, a sigh, a sob caught in travertine. This is not just a ruin, not just an arena. This is memory made marble, pain carved into arches, glory drowned in blood. For nearly 5 centuries, this oval mouth swallowed lives, gladiators, lions, emperors, slaves, saints. It roared with 50,000 voices and wept in silence when they left. We call it the Colosseum, but its true name? Amphitheatrum Flavium, a gift from emperors, paid for in suffering. Today, pigeons nest where senators once sat. Ivy climbs walls that shook with war cries, but if you press your palm to its sun-warmed stone, you'll feel it, a pulse, slow, steady, sorrowful, the heartbeat of Rome's greatest stage and its deepest wound. It began with fire, not divine wrath, not accident, arson, ordered by an emperor named Nero, who dreamed of a golden palace where the Colosseum now stands. When Rome burned, he played his lyre. When the people starved, he feasted. And when they turned against him, he fell on his sword. His successors needed redemption. So Vespasian, soldier, pragmatist, survivor, did something radical. He gave the land back, not to gods, not to nobles, to the people. Here, he declared, you will forget Nero's madness. Here you will taste glory. Here you will be entertained. And so in 70 AD, shovels bit earth, slaves hauled travertine, engineers calculated curves that would hold 80,000 souls. They built not just an arena, but anesthesia, a distraction, a drug, bread, and circuses. The Colosseum wasn't born of pride. It was born of guilt, and it would feed on blood to heal a broken empire. What you see above ground is theater. What lies beneath? Machinery, madness, miracle. Descend with me into the hippodrome, the labyrinth under the arena floor, 2 levels deep, tunnels wide enough for chariots, cages rusted with old fear. Here, slaves oiled gears, pulled ropes, released beasts through trapdoors disguised as flowers. Imagine a gladiator waiting in darkness, the roar above muffled, his breath shallow, his sword cold. Above him, sunlight, sand, 50,000 eyes. Below him, chains, levers, the snarl of a caged lion. And then, clang. A gate opens. Light blinds him. Heat hits his face. The crowd screams, not his name, but his fate. This wasn't sport. It was choreographed slaughter. A ballet of blades, an opera of endings. And the hypogeum, it was the hidden heart, pumping terror into spectacle. We paint them as slaves, brutes, cannon fodder. But graffiti on Pompeii's walls tells another story. Crescens the netman. Girls swoon. Spiculus, emperor's favorite. Flamma fought 34 times and lived. Some were prisoners, yes, but others, volunteers, desperate men trading death for dignity, for coins, for fame. A gladiator who won 3 fights could buy his freedom, his family's freedom, his future. They trained like athletes, ate like kings, slept in barracks softer than soldiers. Their portraits sold on oil lamps, their names chanted like rock stars. Women threw jewelry into the arena, hoping their champion would notice. And yes, some died, horribly, publicly, but many survived, retired, opened schools, wrote memoirs. The truth, gladiators weren't victims of the Colosseum. They were its beating heart, its celebrities, its martyrs, its reluctant poets of violence. They didn't fight for Rome. They fought to be remembered. Rome didn't just conquer men, it conquered nature. From the Atlas Mountains, Barbary lions, manes thick as crowns. From the Nile, hippos that shook the sand with each step. From Germania, Aurochs, wild bulls taller than horses, even giraffes, camel leopards, paraded through streets before being slaughtered for spectacle. Ships groaned under cages. Slaves died guiding beasts through ports. Entire ecosystems collapsed to feed Rome's hunger for wonder. In the arena, they were released, confused, terrified, magnificent. Lions leapt at men in feathered helmets. Elephants trumpeted as spears found their hides. Bears stood on hind legs. Begging for mercy no one gave. The crowd didn't just watch. They voted. Thumb up, live, thumb down, die. Not because they were cruel, because they were numb. Empire had taught them. Life was cheap, and entertainment was everything. You've seen the paintings, the films, the Sunday school tales. Christians, thrown to lions, singing hymns as teeth closed on their throats. But here's the quiet truth. There's almost no evidence it happened in the Colosseum. Persecutions were real, executions too, but most Christian martyrs died in prisons, in market squares, on country roads. The Colosseum, reserved for professionals, for spectacle, for profit, feeding random believers to beasts, too unpredictable, too messy. So why do we believe it? Because later Christians needed heroes, needed symbols, needed proof that faith could outlast fang and flame. So they wrote it, painted it, preached it, until myth became memory. The Colosseum didn't kill saints, it birthed legends. And sometimes, that's more powerful than truth. The games ended, not with a bang, but boredom and money. By the 5th century, Rome was broke. Barbarians camped at the gates. Emperors begged for taxes. Maintaining 80,000 seats, feeding lions, paying gladiators? Impossible. The last recorded games? 435 AD. A quiet affair. No fanfare. Just silence. Then came earthquakes, looters, popes who stripped its marble to build St. Peter's. Noble families turned it into a fortress, a quarry, a slum. Ivy crept through cracks, trees rooted in vomitoria, pigeons nested where Vestal virgins once sat. But still, it stood, not as symbol of power, but of endurance, of irony. The monument built to distract from decay became decay's most beautiful monument. The Colosseum didn't fall with Rome. It watched Rome fall and chose to remain as witness, as warning, as teacher. Why do we still come? Why do millions walk its corridors, touch its stones, whisper to its ghosts? Because it asks us questions, uncomfortable ones. How much violence are we willing to watch for entertainment? How many lives are we willing to ignore for convenience? How much beauty can we build on someone else's suffering? The Colosseum is not ancient history, it's a mirror, reflecting our stadiums, our screens, our hunger for spectacle at any cost. We don't throw slaves to lions anymore. We throw influencers to algorithms, workers to burnout, species to extinction, all while cheering and scrolling. The Colosseum whispers, you haven't changed. You've just digitized the arena. They tried to bury it, break it, forget it. But stone remembers. At dawn, when tourists sleep, the Colosseum breathes. Shadows stretch like old wounds healing. Wind hums through arches, not a moan, but a melody. It doesn't want your pity or your selfies. It wants you to listen to the gladiator's last prayer, to the lion's final roar, to the child who touched its wall and felt time tremble. This is not a ruin, it is a library, written in blood, bound in travertine, read by moonlight. So next time you stand before it, don't just look, lean in, press your palm to the stone, and ask, what will they say about my arena? The Colosseum won't answer, but the silence will.